Okay, guys, good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and it's a pretty day, but you know, like I was saying yesterday, I told Zach not to worry about coming to work, man, because, well, I don't want to have to worry about a ride, you know. Basically what I did today, and y'all have seen it by now, I loaded I got a lawnmower on here too, so I can cut that power line today while I'm over there too. You know, not a lot really going on. I'll try to generate at least, I got one day of work for Zach, you know, this week. It won't be really lawn making money or nothing. But again, the ride situation is well, it's just ugly, man. Because I'm not, like I said yesterday, I don't really, you know, want to be taking nobody back and forth. And I don't like guys when they get off work hanging around my house waiting on somebody to pick them up. I mean, I've had these guys come out here and work, and not really Zach, but guys come out here and work and get done and be sitting in my driveway for 2 hours waiting on a ride. You know, it just seems like that's one thing that, you know, we shouldn't have to worry about, you know, as an employer or as an employee. There's a lot of other things in the world to worry about besides a ride to work. And if you get stuck in that thinking where, you know, you're spending your whole being trying to get to and from work, well, what kind of life do you really have, you know? I mean, you got to ask yourself that. So I don't know. That's just kind of my thinking, you know. We only got so much time, you know, and if we spend our time thinking about things that should be like, you know, elementary, you know, then we are spending our time on things that are a lot more productive than a ride to work, you know. That's just the bare basics, you know. That's right there with the cell phone. So I don't know, man. It's just easier for me to do the work than a ride, and I got to pay too. So, you know, I got to give somebody a ride, and I got to pay them, and I got to be, you know, all intertwined into that thinking, and I don't want to be. I had somebody come in the comments or texted me or something, I can't remember, and they said, you know, you could go get the guys that work for you if they don't live that far away, you know. Yeah, I could, but what ends up happening now, if we were in one truck, that's different. Then I don't mind swinging by and picking whoever's working for me up, right? But during the summer, when everything's pressing and we got a lot to do, if I have to go pick somebody up and bring them back to my house, put them in the other truck, and then, you know, work them, and then have to take them home in the afternoon, and I got to pay them, I mean, dude, it's just too much for me, because what that does, that screws my day up. You know, if I split the route, if we're doing, say, 14 yards, and I need to go to Fayetteville, right? I can leave my house at, you know, at 7:15 or so and get an early start. But if I have to go get whoever's working for me and bring them back to my house, oh my God, man. Well, a couple things. They'd have to be ready. Number one, I'd have to leave a lot earlier if I wanted to get started early. If I want to get started at 7:15 leaving my house, then if I got to go get somebody and bring them to my house to get in the other truck, then that means I have to leave my house at 6:30, 6:45 for it to come out to be the same. And then, so that means that whoever I'm going to pick up has to be ready, you know, before 7. And a lot of times these guys have a hard time getting to work by 8. So then you run into a whole nother string of problems. Well, you go pick them up that early, well, they just woke up, they ain't even had nothing to drink. And not to mention, I got an attitude at that point because, well, I'm having to leave 30 minutes earlier than what I want to. So what it ends up in my brain, it ends up that I'm working for them, really. Because I'm out there blowing a horn, waiting on them to come to the truck. So I can pick them up to bring them to work, and then so they can get paid. See, all that right there, to me, is a frustrating sequence of events that I don't want to do, and I don't have to do, you know. Now, sometimes things happen and I have to, but we're not going in planning like that. Oh no. And no matter what, you know, no matter where you have a job at, you're probably going to have a ride to work and from work. I mean, you know. So, it ain't like, you know, me going and getting somebody and bringing them to my house to run the other truck and taking them home after the day is over. But you're talking about going across a school zone and everything to get to where most of these guys live. Either way. That's just kind of, you know, I just kind of wanted to refortify what I was saying yesterday about the why I don't like picking guys up for work. It just, now, I'll do it, but only if I have to, you know. I'm not going to go into next season worried about how any of the guys that work for me is going to get to work. I'm not going to do that. So anybody that's going to come that's planning on coming out here and working, it doesn't matter who it is, they're going to have a ride to my house, and they're going to get that straight before the summer starts. I'm not going to get knee deep in the summer and then you know, have to be worried about somebody coming to work, and then what happens is that you end up dragging me and my time in the morning. Well, I don't like to be dragged. I don't have to be dragged. I don't want to be dragged, and that puts a bad taste in my mouth, man. You know, it does. The only reason why I went and picked up Zach last week when we was doing that tree job was because I had already set up for the tree job. See, I had already had the man lift over there and everything, and I didn't find out that Zach didn't have a ride until the very last minute. So I had to go get him. Well, I didn't have a choice. You know, if I wanted to do the tree job that day, and good thing I did because it rained for the 2 days after that. You know. And it ain't about somebody paying me to bring them to work and take them home. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It's about time. I don't want to spend my time like that. You know. I've had guys come out here and be getting rides from people or whatever, and they crying about having to spend $10 a trip for somebody to bring them to work and somebody to pick them up. They think that that's way too much, and then they break it down in the fuel and how much fuel it costs. Well, just to have somebody available at 7:30 in the morning to take you to work, and then to have somebody available at 2:30, 3 o'clock to pick you up, that's worth a lot more than $20 in itself, you know. But guys that don't have a car and don't have a ride, they don't realize, you know, all that, because, well, they don't have a car and they don't have a ride, and they don't have to, you know, they didn't have to pay for a vehicle. I'm just saying, you know, that's kind of my take on all that. And then what happens if you do that, and then you start trying to charge these guys just charge them for what it costs, time and gas. Well, then you got a guy out there in the field while you're working that's got an attitude because he feels like you ripping him off. See, because you charging him to bring him to work. See, so they get an attitude, you know. And like I said yesterday, I just want a guy that Well, it has its own vehicle, because any other way it's going to be tipsy topsy. It's going to be sketchy, because people just ain't going to be, you know, trying to pick somebody up and take them to work and bring them home every day. That ain't. I mean, that's a short-term solution. I'm down here on the mouth of the pond where all the water. Let me get off the skid steer. Where all the water runs, you know. Let me get situated here. Where all the water runs down this gully right here. Y'all see that? But see, it's kind of it kind of tricks you, because what happens when it gets down here to this flat part, it spreads around, because you could get up in here and get stuck, because you see how there's water right there running into the pond. You got to be careful, man. You get down in the bottom, down in these woods like this, you ain't no getting out, man. See, it's almost like that gully right there flattens out, and then look, this is water right here going up into the pond. So the water has to get from over there to right here. So if all this in here, it's going to be water. It's going to be real wet right here. You got to be paying attention to what you're doing, man. You'll get the machine like this stuck. I sunk over there a little bit. It was uncomfortable, but not, you know, not nothing, you know, major. But see, the property goes up to this gully and then to that fence right there, and there is a property marker line up there. So that's going to be the corner, and then I think it's about right, because y'all see the pond, and if you look at the, it's going to be hard to get in here. I mean, it'd be cool, man, to be able to get all this down, man. I'm gonna creep up in here slowly but surely. Just some observations while I'm out here, man. You know, I know the videos have been kind of all over the place. Not as much, trying not to do as much truck videos. Trying to do more videos out here in the field, and you know, it's well, it's a different animal, because the reason I do them in the truck so much, y'all, is because, well, that's the most comfortable place where the sound's good, and you know, and I'm not doing anything else, you know, maybe driving or whatever. But you get out here and on the job and stuff, like, especially stuff like this, it can really hold you up, you know, to do any kind of dialogue. And I'm not a big fan of the voiceover. I can do it, I know how and all that, but the voiceover is just not as good to me, because, well, it's not really getting my thoughts at the time. I'm gonna try to creep all the way up to that dead log laying there, but I don't know that I can. Okay, so y'all see I was all up here on this high part, and look at all that water. There's so much water there that I thought I done sprung a freaking radiator leak on the machine. But that's water that's underground. So as the machine's going across it, it's sponging the water to the top, I guess. So now I'm gonna put y'all back on here. I don't know. I was surprised I didn't sink more down that way. That's about as good as I'm gonna be able to get down that way. Now I'm gonna kind of just work my way this way and then back up the hill. All right, y'all, yeah, I'm done over here for now. I went on and, I brought the lawnmower with me today too. So I cut the power line as well. It's a lot better with the lawnmower, and it, I don't like running the Bobcat on that light duty stuff. There's such big square footage, So, but that's it on the day, man. Yeah, y'all know what it is, man. It's Sammy Time Tuesday.